and many other brands. Hammers has a nice selection of ladies' wear by Ruby Road, Sione, Alfred Dunner, and much more. Hammers, where there's always something new at lower prices.
We're going to help you this morning as we continue on with a lot of virtual talks. Perhaps you're going to have some Zoom calls with families over the holidays, or maybe you'll be lucky enough to go to a get-together and you want to look good. We're going to check in this morning with Elizabeth Kincaid. She's the owner of Hair GoGo. She has a wet head temporarily. She's going to show us how to dry our hair the right way. Good to see you this morning.
Hi, Julie. Hi, everyone.
So there's a right way and a wrong way?
Right? People don't normally come on TV with a wet head.
Yeah. You're a brave woman, Elizabeth.
Yeah, right.
So there's a right way and a wrong way to dry your hair?
There is, and I thought that I would start out with a wet head so I could show you even how to apply some products too. So I'm going to take you just every step of the way and how to do it. And these are tips and tricks that I share with everyone that comes in. And they are so helpful, and they'll make your blow drying process at home so much easier, so much quicker. Nothing is complicated. I try to keep it as simple as possible, and it's just so that you have the best results you possibly can.
Okay, so should I be quiet and let you get started, or can you talk while you do it?
Oh, I can totally talk while I do it. So the first thing I'm going to do, when you're blow drying your hair, is you want to make sure you're using something that has some heat protection, right? So the product that I'm using is a blowout gelée. And it just goes on really all over. And the whole idea is you want to get this from roots to ends. You're trying to protect your hair. This one is really cool because it's almost like a 2-in-1. It also has a little bit of hold to it, which is really great.
Do you have the bottle that you can show?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
And there's a lot of products that are out there that are like this. So you just want to make sure that it's hitting all those marks for you that you need, The next thing I'm going to do is use a thermal straightening balm. I don't know, you can kind of see maybe a little bit when my hair was wet that I have sort of like a little bit of a curl to it. So I'm going to take this balm and apply this next. And this is really just, I don't have to get it so much at my root because I'm not very tight. My curl isn't very tight at the root, so I can just kind of get a little bit all over really.
Does it matter, Elizabeth, how wet your hair is when you're putting that on? Does it need to be a little bit dry?
No, you don't want it to be a little bit dry. You don't want to towel dry your hair too much before you get started. It's really unnecessary. You can really just start blow drying, as quick as you can.
Okay.
You don't want it to be soaking wet because then it'll just take a long time.
Okay.
So I'm going to get started. And so the blow dryer I'm using is really powerful. It's cool. It's got a Ferrari motor, so it's really neat.
Wow.
I know, right? I mean, it's just no wasting time with this one. And it's also really lightweight. This is actually their newest one. But I always use a blow dryer that has a nozzle. And most people, when you get a blow dryer, most of the time it'll come with a nozzle. Years ago we just used to throw them away because no one used to use them. They really help. So the objective is when you're taking your brush and you're blowing the air, you're blowing it and letting it flow over the top of the brush. When you have a nozzle on it, it helps to contain the hair so it's not flying all over. And it also creates a lot of shine and smoothness to the hair, which is really cool. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through and I'm just going to get it dry. Nothing pretty. You don't have to flip your head over. You don't have to do any of those complicated things. You just want to get it dry. And you're really almost looking also to get it a little bit drier at the root so that as you go in with your brush, that air, when it hits, it's so hot, you don't want it to burn you or anything like that. So
Okay.
Those are just little things you're paying attention to, So I'm going to turn this on and we'll get started. Right.
So I don't know if you can hear me, but the audience can. I will tell you in full disclosure that the second product that Elizabeth held up that was kind of the brownish bottle, she gave that, I used that. And I was using a straightener on my hair all the time. I was doing a lot of stuff to my hair that I hadn't done in the past, and I kept wondering why my hair was frying. I'm telling them about that product that you use on me, Elizabeth.
Oh,
And
I know.
since I've been using that and another one that she had me get, I don't ever use anything but my hair dryer. It
No.
totally got the health back to my hair. It was the best thing I could have ever done.
Absolutely, I know. And I think during the 2000s really, we just really started using so much heat on our hair with flat ironing and curling, and everyone's into these wands now and all this stuff, and and we're also doing a lot of hair color. So you start combining all those different things, and you're starting to get into a situation where you could have a lot of permanent damage. I mean, people ask me all the time, like, is your blow dryer on high heat? You know, do you keep it on like a medium heat? And, you know, I use it on high heat, but I'm also being very cautious about how I'm doing it so that I'm not going to, you know, abuse my hair. I'm really trying to protect it as much as possible. You know, for me, flat ironing and things like that are just, you know, when I'm totally have no other choice,
Right.
that's what I'll use, you know.
Right.
So I'm going to quickly do just a little bit more,
Okay.
and then we'll start with the brush.
Okay.
Thankfully, I only have about 5 hairs on my head. That's what I like to tell everyone. So it does not take a long time for me to pre-dry. You can see that I was kind of pulling up a little bit at the root. You know, I'm just really trying to just get it mainly dry. So I'm probably about 80% dry right now.
Okay.
That's about all it takes. My part is to the side. So for me, so let's say my part is right here, right? I'm going to take kind of a circular area around the part. And I'm just going to twist this little guy up and put it in that clip. Okay? Then I'm going to take one behind it. Now, depending on the thickness of your hair, the amount of curl, all of those good things, that's going to determine how big your sections can be. For me, because I have such fine hair, I can take really big sections. I always tell my assistants when I'm training them, I want fine hair to have a lot of little friends that it can hold on to so that it can be friends with, right? So that I'm not, if I take a really thin section, what happens is you have a possibility of doing a lot of damage to the hair. It'll get really kind of fly away and sort of weird on you. So taking a larger section when you have fine hair is really important. It just helps you go quicker and it helps to protect your hair. If you have really thick hair, the more clips you have, the more sections you take, the smaller, you know, sections are, the less wide. You know, maybe you're staying about an inch wide or less than that. That will help you. You know, if I have someone that has really thick hair, I could potentially have 6 different clips in their hair, and I'm really trying to work around the head. So you'll see when I get started that I'm going to start on this side, and I'm going to work all the way around. And then I'll take my next section down. So the more sections that you have that are clipped up when you have a lot of hair, it just helps to unclip one and then go to your next section so that you're not wasting all that time. It's hard to manage hair. When you clip it up and pull it out of the way, it really does make a difference in how your blow dry is going to turn out. I'm going to do, for me, one more clip on this side since this is where I part to, and kind of clip this little guy up really quick.
Okay.
And another thing that's really important too is the size of your brush. So this brush is probably about 2 inches, you know, in diameter. You really want to get the correct size brush for your hair because, again, that's just going to help speed everything up. It's going to make it go so much quicker. It's going to get you a nice smooth look. The smaller the diameter, the tighter the curl. So it's for shorter hair and you're going to get more curl on it. Okay. This one, being that it's like 2 inches, is going to get me much smoother, much less bend on my end. So it gives a little bit more modern look. You can still have some volume and stuff. I had a client in the other day, we were talking about it, and she said, you know, I just don't want it to be like flat to my head, you know, and so often, you know, the younger you are, you kind of want that sort of slick look, you know.
So Elizabeth, I've got less than a minute left. For people to get in touch with you, because you are a great teacher and you do keep this at a low price point, you're not a believer in expensive products or the most expensive brush. You've said before your goal is to have people just look pretty every day.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's all it's about, and it's about you being able to do it at home. I mean, it's not good enough if you look great when you leave my chair. I have to make sure that you can do this when you're home. You know, that's really the key to it. And it's just making sure that someone is educated enough and understands what they need to make it. I mean, we all have a million things underneath our counter that we've got from every salon you've gone to. You know?
Here's where you're going to find Elizabeth. It's Hair a GoGo on Dallas Road. The phone number is 752-0500. Online, hairagogo.com. Let her make you look pretty. Thank you for that tutorial.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks, Julie.
Thank you.
I have moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now, there's Sky Rizzy.
Things are getting clearer.
Yeah, I feel